the swiftness with which Rajnath Singh said that this is not okay, we have to win hearts and minds, etc., is unprecedented. I mean, they clearly are taking this a little more seriously.
CSDS had a very interesting, study on consumption of news patterns, where they said that even the BJP supporter felt that the news was too biased and too pro-Modi. So I think even supporters now recognize what a Navika does or what a Sudhir Chaudhary does.
The guy who's fought on the BJP ticket, Yogeshwar Dutt, I think is his name, said that wrestlers should not indulge in politics. And irony was given a dhobi pachhad by him saying that.
With the BJP's advent becoming the biggest national party, the protest has also changed in one way. That people see the imposition of Hindi as the BJP's agenda of Hindutva and of somehow making India into one identity.
And as we speak today, Pegasus is back in news. Apparently, Siddharth Vardhan of The Wire and Anand Mangnale of OCCRP were targeted with Pegasus. Anand, while he was working on a big story on
Adani, they got to know he's doing a story. I think within 24 hours, his phone was infected with Pegasus. So clearly, and states usually have Pegasus. So, I mean, I don't think it is unfair to say Modi is Adani and Adani is Modi.
So I asked a student, do you watch this, say, alternative media of both, all streams? He says no. He said a line of a Hindi satirist, Harishankar Persai, जो भी ज़्यादा अंधकार दिखाता है, वो इधर का हो या उधर का, समझ लीजिए उसने टॉर्च की फैक्ट्री बना रखी है.
Welcome to Chhota Hafta. Now, Chhota Hafta is but a small, chota version of a complete weekly podcast, Newslaundry Hafta. The Newslaundry Hafta is where you get the week's news, what made the headlines, what didn't make the headlines, but the full version is available to subscribers only. And I don't mean YouTube subscribers, although YouTube subscribers are also very welcome, very, very grateful to you, but also to Newslaundry subscribers, the paying subscribers who pay to keep news free. So you can also become a paying subscriber by clicking the subscription link. Now, what do you get if you're a paying subscriber? You get access to all our paywall content, all interviews, podcasts, and importantly, you get access to a full unedited Hafta, where you not only get to hear the week's news, but you get to hear the Newslaundry editors' positions on matters. You get to see their biases, what are their prejudices. It's an exercise in transparency while also informing you, and we have a few quips and jokes and agreements and disagreements thrown in. So listen to the full Hafta, subscribe to Newslaundry, and pay to keep news free. Here we go.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to the last Hafta episode of the year 2023. Let me introduce my panel, and then I shall tell you what is a special Christmas scheme that we have going for you. Joining us are Newslaundry partners, and hopefully we will be stronger together as we move forward, is Dhanya Rajendran, co-founder and editor-in-chief of the News Minute, joining us from Bangalore. Hi, Dhanya.
Hi. Thank you for having me on the last Hafta of the year, which will come on the first week of the next year.
Yes, and we might as well tell our audience that in 2024, we will be starting another podcast, which will be a joint production of News Minute and Newslaundry, which will be co-hosted by Dhanya and me. And we are figuring out the structure of that, and that shall be even more exciting than the Hafta we're hoping. So look out for that. It will be available only to people who subscribe to the joint subscription of Newslaundry and News Minute. So remember to make sure you have the joint subscription. It's already active. And the second announcement is an important one. In Jan, there's going to be this grand inauguration of the Ram Temple at Ayodhya. So we are going to have an NL Sena project on that. We will be getting you some excellent reports from the ground. If you remember, we broke the story of the land deal in Ayodhya, which no one had picked up. And then from us, a few people picked it up. So we will be having boots on the ground, a reporter. And because we will be spending a lot of time, energy, resources there, we would like you to contribute to our Ayodhya project. It's an NL Sena project. And I hope you will chip in, step up, and power our journalism. In the studio is our usual gang, Manisha Pande.
Hello.
Raman, Kirpal, editor-in-chief. Welcome, sir. And joining us is Anand Vardhan. I introduced him as judge last time, Your Honor. I'll think of something else to introduce him. It has to keep changing. He's been professor. He's been Judge Saab. To jaldi se PhD kar le, then we can say Dr. Saab. Dr. Saab, my life is in danger, Dr. Saab. Will your PhD...
Those who are nothing are many things.
Now, Manisha shall give us the headlines.
3 civilians from Jammu and Kashmir who had been picked up by the Indian Army were found dead near the site of the Poonch ambush last Friday.
The swiftness with which Rajnath Singh said that this is not okay, we have to
Yeah.
win hearts and minds, etc., is unprecedented. I mean, they clearly are taking this a little more seriously than in the past. In the past, they didn't give a shit, lots
Also,
of...
no
I-
rhetoric
I don't
in
agree.
TV media the way you have, that
Sorry?
they deserve it. The kind of rhetoric you generally have in television media after this is also an indication of...
No, sir, you think in the past also they
It's a
used to
rhetoric.
respond?
It's a
So
rhetoric
quickly?
because in the past I know the kind of things that
Yeah,
have
of course, it
happened.
used to happen, but there was no acknowledgement from someone of Rajnath Singh's rank to say that we have to win hearts and minds.
No,
you cannot
they
do
have
this.
always been an acknowledgement, but now after that, what happens to the cases,
I see.
you hardly know about them. So I think I expect the similar fate happening here also. But for the first time, I think a video of such nature has
Right, it's
come out, which is really
It could really
very
trigger the
shocking.
entire region.
Ah.
That's the thing. I think they're aware of that. They're aware
Yes.
that they're sitting on a tinderbox.
City-wide protests against non-Kannada signboards for commercial establishments were organized by Karnataka Rakshana Vedike. This was basically they were targeting English signboards.
I want to ask Dhanya two things. One, this organization,
Yeah.
is it a ghost? Is it a quasi Sangh outfit?
No.
And what is this sudden? Is there?
Yeah, how come they've
Yeah,
suddenly
was this a
activated
thing?
themselves?
Is this a thing that has popular support?
No, it's not. It's not sudden at all. So, see, the rule has been there for many years now. In fact, we are publishing a story looking at the entire rules. So it started way back in 2008 itself, I think, when the BJP government then had brought in about Kannada signages. It was in December 2008 that the Yedurappa government had brought in this mandate that all the boards should have Kannada in it. It was under the Karnataka Shops and Commercial Establishment Rules. So at that time, Vodafone SR South Limited had gone to the court saying that we can't replace all our boards because we have spent crores of money on it. So the court ruled that, okay, you cannot now remove this, but why don't you have a new set of rules? Because these rules were under the labor law of the Karnataka Shops and Establishment Rules. So then I think in 2018, the BBMP, which is the local body, they drafted these bylaws. They said that the signage should have 60% Kannada.
See, I feel that this parochialism, which is, seeping in, which is just creeping in the name of, the traditional symbols like language, that is something which I am against. Now, if you go to other states also, so they are also like in Uttarakhand. Now, I think there was something in the news today that they are going to ban sale of land in their area. So I mean,
During 90s, when you had Marathi signboards and Shiv Sena vandalism and all that, so it actually two very strange bedfellows were there. That globalization as a response to McDonaldization, when globalization came, the sway of globalization, liberalization. So there were anxieties about the McDonaldization, that every MNC shop will have English signage. Now the local identities are being washed away. Now the left, then that left which was against this McDonaldization strand of globalization,
They agreed with Shiv Sena on this.
they agreed with the local the nativist ideology. So there were strange bedfellows. So one is as Raman sir said, that now that is perhaps the result of every native ideology now seeking a politicization. Every identity, even if it is of 50 people, will seek some kind. It's an age of
Tribes, tribalism.
tribalism and competitive victimhood, and also group identity.
I still don't see a problem with English signboards. I think people take care of, I mean, and it's also low-hanging fruit. If you want to preserve your language, signboards is really the last thing that'll help preserving of your language. If you're in Level, some of the protests happen in Level Road, right? Where you have all these fancy restaurants and...
Yes.
It's a very global kind of a place. Yeah, you could have an American there, you could have somebody from Delhi, you could have...
But when a very large chunk of your population cannot even identify what is around them, everything is in English. I think it leads to social fissures. It leads to alienation of people who are from there. They not only cannot read, they cannot pronounce, they don't even know what this is. If you ask them where is XYZ, they don't know what you're talking about. So I think I'm not against this. I think, yes, I'm against the violence, but I think it is important.
The protest has also changed in one way, that people see the imposition of Hindi as the BJP's agenda of, Hindutva, and somehow making India into one identity. So there is a lot of politics underneath this. It's not just for the local language or the rules, but the thing is that over the years also the way the protests have happened have changed. Today there's an added layer of the BJP's politics to this.
So I'd just like to kick off the state of the media in 2023 with that get first comments from our guest. So generally your commentary on the media for the year, Dhanya, and especially in the south, is it as bad as it is in UP?
We do see a streak of the governments here going after the media by filing both police cases and unleashing their online armies. Now, I can understand the latter, where any political party has the freedom to respond to the media in whatever ways they want, by mass trolling or putting out statements or whatever it is. But to resort to police cases is a trend that all governments should avoid. In fact, we have put out a story 2 days ago. It's a really long story done by my colleague Harita on CPIM versus the media in Kerala. And it's only when we started writing that we realized how many police cases have been filed in the last few months against media houses.
I mean, UP, I think, is the worst offender. Like, I think yesterday there was this one YouTuber, not even a YouTuber, he just, I think, posted that he called, I think, Modi a liar and Yogi an addict. And they're addicted to power and lies or whatever. And he's had a FIR slammed against him and he was arrested.
You have spoken about BBC and you have spoken about news click. So in such cases, they have done stories against the government, and then you see the government coming back, on them, and they are striking, an atmosphere of fear, and they have already done it for most of the media. So some have succumbed, and they are just towing the line of the government because they need ads. And they are surviving on that ad. So they are, very happily, they have given in.
This year, the total number of IT notices that we have received, and including me, I think we've touched about 65. So that's the total number.
65 in a year?
No, over 3 years, but the most I got was this year. This year was the most.
Which is the most absurd
We have been getting a lot. Actually, we have been getting GST also, which is by the state government, I guess, for 1,000 rupees payment, 500 rupees payment, etc.
Couple of big trends for this year. One, definitely preference of YouTubers and content creators among politicians who no longer want to be questioned by journalists. And this is true for BJP and the Congress. So you saw
and for celebrities also.
Yeah. And it's only going to increase. And I guess in some way, we only have ourselves to blame for it. In the sense, mainstream television journalists who made themselves irrelevant. You saw that with Rahul Gandhi also engaging with curly tails. And the number of journalists who reached out to him for, interviews, all of them were declined. Ravish Kumar had to walk with him. So this engagement with non-news content creators on YouTube, you saw that in a big way, and that's only going to increase. And that leaves us with the question of...
बस मुफ्त में इतना ही मिलेगा. For the full uncut podcast, subscribe to Newslaundry and pay to keep news free. The best way to listen to the Hafta and indeed all our podcasts is through the Newslaundry app. You can download the app by clicking on the links given in the show notes. So do download our app and get the best podcast experience. And also pay for news and support a new news media ecosystem that Newslaundry is trying to encourage, where we are accountable to you because we run on contributions that you make. We don't take government ads, we don't take corporations ads, so that news serves the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Subscribe to Newslaundry, click on the link in the show notes below and proudly say, I pay to keep news free.